So on the continuation of our video, I have here for my ruffles, I have here fabric for my ruffles, 6 inches wideness, 6 inches wideness by the length 58 inches, or the length of my rawsilk fabric, 58 inches by 6 inches. So I joined two together. You can see where I joined it. So this is 58 inches, this one too is 58 inches by 6 inches. I joined two together, and then I have another one here too, 58 inches by 6 inches in two places. I joined this one too together. Your ruffles might not be full like this one. You might use 100 inches for your ruffles, but I want my own to be full. That's why I'm using 68 inches by 2. That is like almost 120 inches. You know, rawsilk fabric is not up to 60 inches. So for the inside of the crunchy, this one too is a crunchy turban. For inside of the crunchy, the one that I'm going to use for the inside of the crunchy, I cut out 2.5 inches by 21 inches. You can see 2.5 inch by 21 inches. I cut it out in two places. So what I'll do now is I'll take this to my sewing machine. I'll fold it in like this and sew it all the way down. I'll do the same for the second one. So for this long fabric for my ruffles, I'm also going to fold it like this and sew it from beginning till end. After sewing it from beginning till end, I will turn it inside out. I will turn it inside. You can see the length, it's very long. Done that, I've sewn the 2 ropes, and then I've also sewn this. So the next thing I'll be doing is I'll be turning this inside out. I'll turn it from the left side to the right side. So I use my safety pin to turn it. This is going to be a long process, so I will show you the results, the final results after turning it. This is how I use my safety pin to turn it. So I have finished turning my long fabric. You can see this is the first one and this is the second one, like 120 inches long by 6 inches, and then I folded it in. After folding it in, and then I turned it out. So the next thing I will do now is the 21 inches that I also sewed, I'll put my pin into it like this. I'm going to insert it inside the 120 inches by length. So this one is for the first one, this one is for the second one, this one for this one, this one for this second rope for this one. So I will just do that one by one. I feel no. So when this one gets to this place, I don't want it to move. I can use my office pin. Pending the time, I will use my sewing machine to hold it down. I'll use my office pin to hold it like this. So after holding it down, I'll continue passing it through into the long one. I'll continue passing this. I want it to come out at the other side, so I will do that for this one and then for the other second long fabric too, and get back to you. So having put the short one inside the long one, this is what I get. So I'm going to arrange my ruffles very well, and then I'm going to try to get the midpoint of my ruffles. So this is the first one, this is the second one. So first thing I'll do now is I'll get my mannequin. I'm going to wear this on top of my mannequin head. This is the V-shaped turban that we treated yesterday. So I'm going to get the midpoint of my cap here, and then this is the midpoint of the ruffle. So I'm going to be gumming this to this like this. I'll make sure my ruffles are well set. One side is not longer than the other side. So on using this to measure like this, I can see that my ruffle is a little longer. I don't want it to be up to this place. I want it to be up to like here. So what I will do is I will reduce the rope inside. So I want to reduce this rope now. Watch how I'll do it. So I'm going to sheet the rope like 2 inches. I'm going to cut off 2 inches out of this rope. Look at it. I'm going to cut off 2 inches. Then I'll take it to my sewing machine and sew it back. So after sewing it back, this is what I'll do. Let me pin it first like this. After sewing it back, let me check, maybe I have something that is balanced. So, here, look at what I get. Look at where it's ending. I don't want it to end very far like that. So I reduced it by 2 inches. So look at it now. I will gum it this way, like this. So before I move on to this one, the third step, which is the last step, is the like auto gele pleat on top of the ruffles. So for this auto gele pleat, the measurement that I am using for this is 31 inches. Let me show you. 31 inches by 25 inches. You can see 25 inches by 31 inches. So I'll just take this to my sewing machine too. I'll sew it round. I'll sew it from here like this, here like this. I'll just leave maybe a little opening for me to turn it out. 31 inches by 25 inches. 31 inches on this side, 25 inches on this side. So if I fold it like this, I'm going to be getting 35 inches, 31 inches. I don't know what is wrong with this 35 that I'm calling now. 31 inches by 12.5 inch. You can see when I open it, 25 inches. When I close it up, when it's 2 like this, 12.5 inch by 31 inches. So I will take it to my sewing machine, sew it round and turn it out, so I can use that for my pleats. So I've sewn this and then I've turned it outside. After turning it, I made sure I stitched the opening I used to turn it. You can see the opening. So moving back to the turban, I made sure that I got the midpoint of this. This is the midpoint, and this is the midpoint of the turban here. So the next thing now is to use my glue gun. I'm going to use my glue gun, my UHU glue. I'll use it. Please, I want you to watch how I am going to place this ruffle. I'm going to place it from this midpoint. It's going to be coming down towards this edge. It's not going to be walking straight like this. See what I'm saying? I'm not going to be taking it straight on this line. I'm going to be bending it from this midpoint. I'm going to be bending it like this. Let me apply my gum so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is what I'm going to be doing. From here, the midpoint here, I'm going to be applying my gum, and you see, let me bend it so I can get the direction of it. So from here like this, I will bend it towards this place. It's like my ruffle is stopping here. It's not getting to the back totally. So here's the midpoint of my ruffle. This is the midpoint of my ruffle. So I'm going to be placing the midpoint of my ruffle directly here, down to where the ruffle will stop. I'm going to be doing this for the other side. Remember that this gum takes a long time to glue. It takes a long time to gum, so I have to be patient. So apply the gum to the other side too, you can see. And I'm still adding pressure on the other side. So this is what I'm doing. I'll add pressure on this and then add pressure on this. I'm going to take the second ruffle. I'm going to get the midpoint. The midpoint like this. This is the midpoint. You can see where I joined the two fabrics together. So I'm going to get the midpoint. I'm going to set my ruffles way. I'll just put my gum on this, on top of the first layer. I don't know, maybe I'm using too much gum. It's me, I don't compromise. After gumming, and then I will make sure I tack my work very well. If after all the attention I give to my work, you say my work is too cost, no problem. But I make sure whatever is worth doing well. So I'm trying to look for the midpoint. Okay, so I've gotten the midpoint. So midpoint to midpoint, I'm going to add pressure to this. Can you see? Can you see? Midpoint to midpoint. So I'm going to add pressure to this, midpoint to midpoint. One thing that you should note is that this second layer and this first layer should not be the same length. So maybe if you are going to add, see the length of the first layer, see the length of the second layer. It should not be the same length. The first layer should be a little more than the second layer. This is the end of the first layer. This is the end of the second layer. It should be on top of it, and it should be like maybe 1.5 inch over it. So I'm going to add pressure on this. You know, UHU gum, it glues a lot, but you have to be patient with it. So while this one is cooling off, what I'll do now is, I'm going to move over to the pleats. I'm going to be making my pleats. To make my pleats, I need my matching color of needle and thread. I already put it inside my needle. And then I'm going to be using clip to hold it down. So please, if you have iron, you can iron this for maximum results. But as I said before, I've seen light in this our area over a week now. That is Nigerian NEPA for us. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be pleating this. I can start from the middle. I'm going to be making sure it is equal, like you want to make auto gele. I'm going to pleat it. It's a little hard to pleat it from that place. Let me try from this end, or maybe it's this my mat. So this is what I will do till I get to the end. So I'll be using my clip to hold this. I'll hold it on this side. I'll also hold it on this side. So for these two edges, I'll also pleat this too. I'll try to make sure it is equal. Getting your pleats right is very important, because if this pleat is scattered, it won't be nice. So I'm going to straighten this out. After straightening it, I will bend it towards me like this. I hope you can see. I'm going to bend it towards me like this. I will bend it towards my direction. I'm going to use my clip to hold it. And then I'm going to do the same thing for this other hand too. This is difficult for me because I've not ironed the fabric. If I had ironed the fabric, everything would have been so smooth. But I didn't want to postpone this class because of those people again. Let NEPA do their own, let me do my own separately. So I'm going to bend it a little. And then I'll hold it. So the next thing I'll do now is I'll take my matching color of thread, and then I'll tack it here, I'll tack it here, I'll tack it here, I'll tack it 4 places where I have my clip. Let me go off camera and do that. So I've gotten to the last edge. I'm going to remove my clip, and then I'm going to tack this like this. I just want to show you my tacking method. I'm going to take it through like 3 times, and then I'm going to tie it inside. Look at it. I'll just open it up, maybe at the middle. I'll make sure I tie it inside the pleat. So after doing that, I'm going to bring my mannequin, and I'm going to show you how this is going to be placed. We are going to be doing a lot of tackings for this step. The other 2 steps that we have gummed before, we are going to be tacking it, but this step we are not using gum, we are using only tacking. Look at it. This is the 2 steps. I think it's a little dried. So this is it. What I'm going to be doing next is I'll remove all my clips, since everything is tacked already. So look at the place I started my tacking from. This place, I'm going to be placing this on top of this like this. Look at it. I want you to watch where this is ending. Watch where this is ending. Make sure you get the midpoint. So this is going to be ending after the first layer. Look at it here. See the first layer of ruffles. So this is going to be covering it, and it's going to be ending after the first layer. So this is what I'll do. I'm going to tack this, maybe like 2 layers. I want to tack it down to the cap, to the body of the cap here. You can see I'm bringing this forward, almost near the band. People that do auto gele understand what I am trying to do. So I'm trying to look for where, yes, okay. So I'm going to take it inside the cap. inside the cap. I'm going to take it inside the cap. Can you see? I will tack it this way. I want to tie this now. I'm just trying to use this to hold it down. I've held it down. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side too. So I'm going to take it around. And you see the last place? I'll bring it forward. Look at it. And you see it. So I'm going to be tacking this down to the cap. I just want to use it to hold it in place so that I can cool down and do the finished tacking. So I'm going to tie this now. Let me quickly explain what I am going to do. Having tied this, I can now maybe balance this a little. Like this is how I want it. This is how I want my gele to be set. I want it to be set like this. So the next thing I will do now is I will take my needle and thread again, matching color of needle and thread. The next thing I'm going to do is I will just start tacking this. I will tack the first layer to the body of the cap. After tacking the first layer to the body of the cap, I will tack the second layer to the first layer. So I will be taking the needle through this place, tacking the first layer to the body of the cap. I'll take it inside the body. Please note that you have to be patient while doing this. This is not a rushed work. The fact that you gummed it does not mean that you are not going to tack it. This place is a little difficult because this is the midpoint. So I'm going to tie this. I'm not going to tie it here. I want to tie it here where I can cover it. Trying to look for a place that I can cover it and tie it. I don't want the tying to be obvious. Where the ruffles will cover it. I don't want to use much space. I don't want the video to be too much. So I'm just going to cut this off. I'm going to do the same thing for here, maybe like 8 to 9 places on this layer. Then on this layer, I'm going to tack this first layer to the second layer, and then I'm going to tack the last layer, that is the pleated part. I will lie it straight. When I put it on my mannequin, I can set it. This is like something I will get after the final result. So this is what I will get after the final result. So here I have the turban. So this is the style. I will just take my time and start tacking. I will tack this one to this one, this one to this one, this one to this one. I will tack the first layer to the second layer. I hope you can understand. Invisible tacking. Make sure your tackings are invisible. So I will tack this and I will show you the final picture. This is what the final picture would certainly look like. To certainly look like this. You can see the way it is set. Look at the back of the turban. No amount of air it will go into this turban. Look at it. Thank you for watching.